Okay, Alistair, good, but not good enough. Can you just maybe expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it certainly was one of the best performances in Beijing. But I think rather than just carrying out reviews every 4 years, I think it's actually quite useful to get up in a helicopter a bit and look at the context in which the Irish performance took place. And if you look back over the last 4 or 5 Olympiads, they're way behind. In terms of many nations now, we know New Zealand and Denmark are countries that have a performance system, have had for some time, but countries like Slovakia and Slovenia were not even countries, 4 Olympiads ago, and they compete in both the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, and are getting significantly more medals, and more importantly, I think, in more sports than Ireland. Ireland really has only succeeded in one sport, be it boxing or in swimming, in terms of getting medals, whereas typically the comparator group we've used in our report would be getting medals over 5 to 6 sports and have a performance system that is delivering consistently increased performances.
But is it that we just don't have the talent there, or is there a problem in the system in terms of preparing athletes for the games?
I have no question, knowing Ireland pretty well as I do, that the talent exists. The system is failing those athletes in terms of the competitive intensity that the players are enabled to compete in, but the actual performance system itself should be delivering much more. The athletes should be demanding much more of the system, and things like the Institute of Sport, which was recommended in 2001. Should be well established by now, not waiting to be established, as it says in the Irish Sports Council's report. That's just crazy after this time. I chaired the Scottish Institute of Sport myself for 7 years, and in 5 years we produced 250 World, Olympic and Commonwealth medalists within a very short space of time. It can be done. Scotland and Wales are now delivering respectively 8 and 7 medalists in Olympic Games across 6 sports. It can be done. But you have to take it seriously. It's serious stuff, this international performance. And unless you invest and unless you demand and challenge that system, it's never going to succeed.
Do you feel the investment isn't perhaps what it should be?
The investment looks to be reasonable. I think it's the demands on that investment and the challenges that should be made of sports. In the reports that the OCI received back from team management, I think you could question the ambition of the athletes and coaches across the Irish team. You could question the attitude towards achieving high performance. How many of the athletes actually did personal bests at the Olympics? Not many. That's a true standard of what should be expected of a performance system. And if people aren't performing, then stop investing in them. That's what Britain has done, I think, very well since Atlanta. The British took the medicine after Atlanta, and they invested heavily in a performance system. Mission 2012 that was used as the system for Beijing is a hard, disciplined system where there's no compromise. And if sports and their athletes don't perform, they're out.
I mean, it's quite a stark picture you're painting in one sense. I mean, are you suggesting that perhaps some of the Irish athletes maybe just don't want it enough?
Well, if you look at the demands on the services, they don't appear to be there. The interviews that the athletes gave as part of the survey that was done showed that a large number of them felt they hadn't achieved their potential at the Olympic Games. Now, isn't that the ultimate? Isn't that where you really want? You say that to Chris Hoy, what would he say?
So is there a problem in the Irish psyche, do you think?
Maybe there is. And maybe that's something that needs to be addressed. And that, competing for Ireland should be something that, we had the same in the UK. I had the same in Scotland when we set up the Institute. 30% of the athletes who came into the Institute, their goal was to be Scottish champion. Now the athletes coming into the Institute, none of them wish to be Scottish champion. They wish to be achieving on the world stage. It is an attitude. It isn't just Irish. So, don't feel that it is down to, if you like, an Irish psyche. It's there in all nations. But what coaches, administrators, leaders have to do is to ensure that the athletes go to these games, not to attend, and those are the targets at the moment in a lot of the Irish sports, is just to get to London. Now, you can get a flight to London any day. To attend the games, you have to qualify. The key thing is competing and winning at an Olympic Games. Just imagine what effect that would have in this country.
And would you be in favour of specific sports that Ireland should be concentrating on, specific sports that we have had success with in the past, rather than maybe spreading ourselves over various different sports?
In the work we did in 2001, over 7 years ago, it was made very clear that Ireland should identify super effective sports, I think was the word that was used, and identify maybe 5 or 6 sports and their athletes that they should focus investment on. I don't believe that's been done.